I don't like how it does that now.
You're live. It doesn't actually say it on the video. It just says it for us. But we are back live. We were already fighting before we started going live about quarterback rankings. So this is going
Markel
to
is saying that Tom Brady is the top 3 quarterback right now in the league.
Yeah, we haven't even got to the juicy part. We're arguing about the top 3 or 4, which is fun.
That was an interesting take.
Peter said he wasn't top 5, so I just was
not right now. No,
I guess.
Excuse me.
The guy wins football games.
I'm gonna buy the next flight out to Tampa Bay.
All right,
I'll go step on the field week 1, and I bet you I could throw for 3 touchdowns with that team. I'm just gonna hand it to Ronald Jones to bring me up the field, and then I can do a little lob thing to either Gronk or Mike Evans, and I'll be fine. I promise you.
I guess.
Well,
you're just a hater. Just say it. It's whatever, bro. Tom Brady.
Who are the Bucs playing week 1? A little disrespectful. 3 touchdowns.
Does it matter who they're playing? Let's see.
Either way,
the Cowboys. Oh yeah, sign me up.
Either way, that's still a bad take.
Sign me up. I can throw 3 touchdowns against the Cowboys if I'm playing for Bruce Arians in Tampa.
Tom Brady is most definitely a top 5 in the league at least.
No.
Yeah,
I'm curious where you're gonna have him, Peter.
You are just a hater, bro. It's fine. I get it.
It's not even that.
I get it.
I'm not saying he's not the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm not saying that.
I'm telling you, he's top 5 in the league today.
My eyes tell me different. I'm sorry. The guy wins, which is great. It's great. But as soon as there's any kind of pressure, he's like bottom half of the league when he's pressured.
Well, that's most quarterbacks.
I would say that's most quarterbacks. If you're going to base a QB off pressure, is like don't look for.
It's not the top 5 quarterbacks. The top 5 quarterbacks can handle pressure.
I don't know about that.
I've seen Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers thrive under pressure.
That's different. Those are the 2 like greatest guys under pressure that can throw it on the run and just like.
Which is why they're the top 2 quarterbacks in the league.
Which is why I have them at 1 and 2.
That's why I haven't 1 and 2.
I have them 1 and 2.
Let's be fair to one thing, all right? Rodgers has struggled under pressure. Like I would take Russell Wilson under pressure more than I would for Rodgers.
That's fine.
If we're being honest.
That's fine.
But like we have to be honest when we're talking about the quarterbacks.
For our quarterback ranking, should we start?
Let's start at 32.
From 1 to 32 or 32 to 1?
Hey, bro, I think we should start at 1 because I'm curious, man. I need to know.
We have to build impulse. 32 to 1.
Okay. So now here's my question. I was asking you before we started recording. So I know you said your list, Ryan, is going to be different because you included like QB situations. So for example, like you grouped up Andy Dalton and Justin Fields in Chicago because we don't know what's going to happen there. But if you ask me individually, I'm just going to have Justin Fields. I think he's a better quarterback right now before even an NFL snap than Andy Dalton.
So do I. That's why I listed him as a starter. But
all right, can we at least agree that our 32nd quarterback is going to be Sam Darnold?
Actually, no, and I don't like Sam Darnold.
You're crazy, really. Who do you have above him as like the starter right now?
So hear me out. So this isn't like I'm not playing this on an even playing field. I'm considering the team. I'm considering like, what's going to happen this year because, Sam Darnold is in a different situation. I put Tyrod Taylor and Davis Mills at 32. Now, do I think Tyrod Taylor is the 32nd like worst quarterback in the league? I actually don't. I think he's in the 20s. I just think the Texans are so horrible. And he might not even play the whole entire year.
I think the Texans are so bad, we shouldn't even rank them.
Well, I mean, they have to get ranked.
I mean, yeah, they have to. They have a starting quarterback. Yeah, I could agree with that, Ryan. But just based solely on the situation, no quarterback would have done well over there. So I could agree with that.
That's why I'm giving him a pass. I feel kind of bad for Tyrod. I just think he'll get to a point eventually where they're so bad, they'll just play Davis Mills. So they try to see what they have too. So the situation will probably get even worse during the year.
So are we saying number 31 would be Sam Darnold?
Nope.
Really? Wow. You are shooting for the stars with this guy, huh? New man in Carolina.
And I just shitted on him for the entire episode last week. So I had Peter's boy, Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater combined here.
That's fair. I'd take Carolina's QB room.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I don't know. I don't. You know how you hate Sam Darnold? I hate Drew Lock.
So you have him here.
Yeah, I have him. I had Sam Darnold at 32, but then you made sense with me for the QB room, so I moved him up to 31.
Wait, did you have Watson involved initially or no?
Nah, Deshaun Watson, as far as as I'm concerned, is not probably going to play football for the rest of his life. So
at least this year, for sure, almost.
For sure this year, and probably looking like the rest of his life, bro.
I don't know about rest of his life, but I don't think he's going to play this year.
I don't think he's going to play again, honestly. I'm with Markello, unless something comes out like significant.
Like, he's going to end up commissioner's exempt list, and it's going to be a whole situation. Like, But yeah, I didn't take him into account. So now that you like kind of made sense to me, I kind of forgot about the Texans situation. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I think they're just so relevant this year because they're gonna obviously finish. I mean, they might not even win a game this year, like 1 or 2 games max.
All right,
Yeah,
so
that definitely 31 is Sam Darnold for
No,
me. I
no,
would have
no,
Drew Lock
no
be right
argument
above him.
for Drew Lock, Peter.
no,
Moving on.
I think 31's a fair ranking. He hasn't shown it. Like I'm still banking on the little bit of potential that's left. That's what you guys aren't doing. But I'm not going to rank him high based off of potential. I'm going to rank him based on what he's done so far, and he hasn't done nothing.
Okay, so where do you have? Who's your 31st?
Drew Lock.
Oh,
I'll
it
take
is.
the Broncos. Yeah, because I'm not high on Teddy Bridgewater either. I actually think Drew Lock's better than Teddy Bridgewater. So having Teddy there doesn't make it better for me.
Yeah, I'd honestly rather just try to squeeze out the juice, what's left of Drew Lock, than because if I
Yep.
throw Teddy and then the potentials, it just kind of like I know the ceiling already. So,
Agreed.
so 30. This is my boy, Sam Darnold.
Completely agree.
Yeah, I just couldn't like we talk about potential. Like Sam Darnold's in the same kind of boat as Drew Lock. He might have played like, maybe 1 or 2 better games, but like this bottom of the league quarterbacks right now. But Sam Darnold could definitely change. He could definitely be closer to the 20 range if all goes well in Carolina.
Markello, do you agree?
Granted,
We had him 32, so like he's
look, yeah, no. Look, I have Drew Lock in my 30 spot. I have him a little bit higher than Darnold because Darnold is just bad. But you know, this is no like up for Drew Lock. I still don't like his game. I think he's not the answer in Denver.
Actually, you know what?
Sam
I
Darnold.
actually I disagree. Again, it's not a big deal. I actually think I disagree. I think I'd have Sam Darnold at 29.
Okay.
At 30, I honestly, and it's going to sound a little bit, I don't know if it's going to sound like hate, but I'd have Tua at 30.
I have him coming up soon.
Because as of right now, if you
No.
ask me to pick a starting quarterback to start for you this year, I'd rather Sam Darnold than Tua.
I don't know.
I don't like the reserved kind of quarterbacks. I don't like the quarterbacks that take too long to make a decision. Like Darnold makes his mistakes, we know that, but I'd rather you like be gunslinging and making your mistakes than just holding the ball, taking sacks, not being able, to read defenses or move out of the pocket.
That sounds a lot like Darnold.
It was his first year though, man. Yeah, I don't.
No, listen, it's not like I have him far off. I have him 29 and 30.
Darnold's
Or
doing that
flip-flop
in
and
year
go
like
for it.
4. You know,
But I don't know. Darnold
Okay.
has seen more up to this point.
at
and
29, you wouldn't
I
even
trust him
consider like
to
a
run my
Jalen
team more.
Hurts, like a Jalen Hurts before Tua.
No, I'd have Jalen Hurts after Tua.
Wow,
Me too. But at
wow,
29, I actually have Daniel Jones.
that's
Oh,
fair.
wow.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
Really
bad.
fair?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
bad.
it just I do think the Giants are going to win a decent amount of games this year. So this is not on the Giants' reflection on the team. It just out of all the quarterbacks, like I don't trust Daniel Jones. Like we're talking about Tua and Darnold. Like I think Daniel Jones is like he's in the same range as these guys. He might be a little bit better, but like I know he cut down on turnovers. I still don't trust him, and I don't think he's a franchise quarterback. So
That's a very fair assessment because I could tell you I watched the Giants game and the stats lie to you that he's like the best 50-50 ball, whatever, deep ball in the league. It's like a
it's
50%.
plus 20 yards. I was like, this has to be
Yeah.
a lie. Did anyone watch?
Yeah,
it?
look, let me tell you guys something. The stats, see, if you looked into stats, you think, oh yeah, Daniel Jones not a bad, he's a bad quarterback, very bad quarterback. The stats do lie. So I can wholeheartedly agree with it at 29. I had Jalen Hurts here. I just think he's working with a little bit less than what Daniel Jones is. So like probably
That's
the
probably fair. It's probably too harsh on Daniel Jones.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Look, the guy's like kind of set up to win this year, so we'll
And I
see.
actually like his situation better than my next 2 quarterbacks, which is the 2 quarterbacks we just mentioned. I had 2 at 28, so right near where you had him, Peter. The Dolphins, I actually like. They definitely got better on offense. It's just I don't trust Tua. I do think he's any better than last year, but like last year was so like mediocre, so bad that he didn't really show any signs of being like the 4th overall pick. And then I had Jalen Hurts after that. I kind of like Hurts a little bit more than you guys. I mean, not much. I have him at 27. I just kind
That's a
of
fair range.
I'm kind of excited for Philly because I feel like they're going to be like they might finish last. I'm willing to admit that in the NFC East. I just don't think they're as bad as people are saying. I think if they do finish last, it's only going to be like a game or 2. I think it'll all be very close. I feel like the Philly offense actually might surprise some people with like Rager, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert, and their offensive line's coming back. So I'm kind of excited for Philly's offense. Hurts, as much as you don't like him or like him, like he is kind of exciting, especially for fantasy reasons. So
Yeah, so I actually had Jones and then Tua above him.
Okay, so we all kind of have the same. You have Hurts down there too, right? As like that.
Yes,
three.
I have Hurts 29, Jones 28, and Tua 27.
Okay, so we have the same three, just mixed order from 29 to 27.
The next guy for me, I think honestly, I have him probably like a spot or two lower than Jalen Hurts is Jared Goff.
Oh man, I thought I was gonna be the highest one. I don't have him this high yet. I agree, and most rankings have Jared Goff in the top 15, top 17.
No shot. I think he's in the bottom kind of 20s in that 25 to 30 range because not only am I not impressed with him individually, but I think he might have a worse situation than some of the guys. Definitely worse than Daniel Jones situation wise. I even think it's a worse situation than Philly.
It is much worse.
Yeah, so
receivers like Rashard Perriman.
He was struggling in a Sean McVay offense with some weapons around him in a running game. Could you imagine how much he's going to struggle in Detroit now? I like the running backs they have there, don't get me wrong, but that's not going to save you. And adding Penei Sewell to your offensive line isn't going to change the whole line. It's going to help 100%. But
it's going to help the blind side significantly.
I actually like their line better than.
Yeah, the line's actually really not that bad. I think it's more so like he's not going to have anyone to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
And
outside of Hockenson.
Actually, I kind of like the running game as well, too. I think they have.
I think that's the best aspect of their offense is their running backs.
Well, I think that's what they're going to try and like work off of, more of like a run heavy.
Swift and Hockenson, that's it. We're just going to bury all those guys with touches. So.
Well, look, Hockenson was really never brought in to be like a receiver type. He's always been used as like a run blocker. So.
But he said that last year.
He flashes here and there, yeah, for sure. But I just don't see him like being of like, like the I'm playing like a Travis Kelce, George Kittle.
Oh no, he's never gonna be that.
Yeah,
like he could get the targets this year.
He's not even gonna be like a Jonnu Smith, you know what I mean? Like he's just never gonna put those numbers up consistently, I think.
No, he can be Jonnu Smith.
Really, you think so?
Yeah, because the offense he's in right now, he's gonna force fed the ball a lot. There's not really a lot.
Yeah, based on the amount of targets there, for sure, I can see that. But yeah.
So where do you guys have Goff rank? What would that make him? 26, let's say.
You have him at 26.
I would put him at 26 for sure. It's like a good fair spot.
You guys have him a little bit higher than me. I have him at 24. I was really gonna put him down there. I just wanted to give him like somewhat of respect. Like, and it's not really much of a difference, but.
And somebody else who I think is getting overrated now just because we're getting like bad situations out of the way. Now I think we have to put in Andy Dalton / Justin Fields.
Okay. I would put in Carson Wentz here.
Wow.
No, you can't do that. Carson Wentz has way better of a situation.
Oh boy, let's go.
I'm not a fan of Carson Wentz.
That's some NFC hate. That's bias.
Wow, I got
Nobody
Wentz.
listen to what Markel's saying.
Way higher. This
is NFC hate.
You guys are banking on
NFC East hate.
Hear me out, because I didn't even get to 26 yet. I gave you Wentz. I gave you Goff at 24. At 26, I actually have Cam Newton and Mac Jones, and I'm actually a Cam Newton fan. I was
going to put Cam Newton and Mac Jones above, just Jared one spot above Justin Fields, and just because I think that the situation in Chicago is it's worse.
Okay.
Because besides Allen Robinson, who's your only like threat, essentially, I know Mooney's a deep threat, but as much as I like Justin Fields, like it's still unproven, right? He hasn't taken a snap, so I'm not going to already predict a deep connection with him and Mooney.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy Dalton, I know, is not going to be able to connect with him. So unless the ball's going to Allen Robinson, I don't know how much I love that offense. At least with Cam Newton, like I'm not even a Cam Newton fan, but at least he could take it with himself, right? I love that offensive line a lot more. And even though the receivers aren't obviously that good, you still have the tight end duo that you have there now. And it's New England system, and you'll find a way to move the ball, especially in the running game. So I'd give New England the edge over Chicago.
Okay. So I actually have Chicago a couple spots higher than them, because I have New England at 26. Like I actually like Cam Newton too. I'm actually hoping he bounces back. Like I mean, not to an extent. I'm still a Jets fan, but I just kind of like Cam Newton. But yeah, I still don't like love them. Like I do think even though they got better offensively, I still think outside their offensive line, the Patriots are still one of like definitely below average in terms of weapons. So like that's why I still have them here. So it's not all in the quarterback situation here. Now, do I think the Patriots are going to be better than some of these teams that we mentioned here, and even better than the Bears? Possibly around the same range. So it's like, again, this isn't about, we did the power rankings already. Quarterbacks are a little bit different.
So what number is that we just did?
That's 26 for me. For Cam Newton and Mac Jones.
We're up at like 25, I think.
We're at 25. 24. Yeah, 25. So let me go first. Let me go first for this one.
What has Carson Wentz done to warrant being placed outside of the 20s?
having an MVP season, being able to work
Years
with
ago.
nothing besides last season.
No, stop
You
it.
know
Two
what?
seasons ago, he
was
was
gonna-
a top 5 quarterback.
I was gonna put him lower, but now I have some rookies coming up after this next pick.
I
So
don't know,
20,
man.
so 25. Hear me out. Hear me out. I have Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance. Now
That's
this is-
fair. That
yeah,
is
so this
fair.
is
People
gonna
are
be
gonna
like
think that's low, but that's fair.
the Niners
That's
are going
low.
to be. It is low, but that's because of how much Jimmy Garoppolo held back the team in the past and his injury history. And I know obviously there was a
Can you
huge
guys hear
drop
me
off.
now?
I'm excited for Trey Lance, right? But I just don't think he's going to play much this year. So I'm really basing this on Jimmy Garoppolo playing like 10 or 11, maybe 12 games, assuming he can stay
And
healthy.
even if Trey Lance does play, he's only taken like 185 snaps in his life, and now he's going to be in the NFL. It's going to be a learning curve. We can't
Yeah,
have
this-
him
this
better
is
than
no
all these
reflection
starting
of the
NFL
Niners.
quarterbacks.
This is still, like I say again, this is no reflection of the Niners. I think they actually will have a good year if they're healthy. I'm just basing this on their quarterbacks, but mostly Garoppolo is weighing this down for me. I'm kind of excited to see Lance. I hope they throw Lance in pretty early.
That's
look,
fair.
if you guys want to weigh it down because of Garoppolo, yeah, I guess. But
What do you think?
He's going to
Garoppolo
start
starts
week 1, so you have to. Yeah,
I don't know. I just don't see them moving up and giving up the picks to not start the kid like,
not week 1.
all right, week 3, week 4, eventually, dude.
That's being generous, I feel like.
That's assuming Garoppolo gets hurt too.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. They gave up a lot to get up there.
Garoppolo's going to play at least half the season.
That's generous.
Yeah, I think he will too. I think he's going to play all of it if he's healthy.
Really? That's
Because
great.
the Niners are such a good team, like that. Even if Garoppolo is playing, right? Obviously, there's a big difference between Garoppolo and like Nick Mullins from last year. Like when Garoppolo plays, they're at least they win most of their games, or like they're in very competitive. So it's hard to pull like a quarterback when they're winning games.
All right, yeah,
Right.
fair enough.
So what number are we at now?
So that was 25 for me, but 24 I already said Jared Goff. So you guys can give me your 24.
Okay. For me, again, no offense, Ryan. It's just about not playing an NFL snap and situation, everything that comes with it. I'm gonna put probably Zach Wilson here.
Okay, I have him coming up. So
This is where I started fitting in my rookies. Like this is where I put Chicago's like QB room.
Yeah, this is that range where it's like, yeah, you have all this talent. You were a top 3 pick, but haven't taken a snap.
Yeah.
yeah, we have to be
Right.
fair with the ranking. I have the rookies coming up right now too. So
Yeah, so Zach Wilson would be next for me. And again, the whole offense is
Me as
improving.
well. Me as well.
yeah, I'm at 20. What is that? 24, 23,
23 for us.
23. Okay, so my 23 is actually Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill.
That's
Have them at 22.
end the show.
Yeah,
End the show. What?
and you guys know, like I'm a big Winston guy. It just
You
He's
guys
not
are putting
proven, dude. He
Big
sat for the
Ben-
whole
Yeah,
year.
you
guys
the
are putting
one year he
Pittsburgh
did, he threw
over
like
New
30
Orleans?
picks.
it's
You
still
guys are putting
improving.
Pittsburgh
Yeah,
over New Orleans. You guys are putting
Yeah.
Pittsburgh over New Orleans. I
Yeah.
take Taysom Hill over Big Ben right now.
You're
no, I
crazy.
wouldn't do that. Yeah, Taysom Hill
Give me
actually.
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill is actually the one weighing it down for me. I could have been convinced.
No,
but
but even if you wanted to argue for Jameis hasn't done anything. He threw 30 picks in the last season,
Well, listen,
he
he's-
played, and then he sat for a year on the bench.
let's
was
not
the
trash.
LASIK
Let's
eye
not
surgery,
trash.
dude.
I'm not
The
trashing him,
LASIK.
but like that's what it
The
is.
LASIK. It was the
Oh,
LASIK.
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
it's
the
the
eyes.
LASIK. Yeah.
Hey,
It's LASIK.
Everyone watching, Peter hated Jameis Winston before he joined the Saints. All right, I was the one fighting for Jameis, but I
Yeah,
hope,
right.
I hope he does do well. I really
I
do.
actually remember
I'm
saying at
banking
St.
for the guy,
John's-
but you can't overrank him because he's, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we
and
don't
again,
know
this
what he's gonna be.
isn't based on power rankings of the team because the Saints are a
Yeah.
very good team.
I don't know if you guys remember this.
Oh,
Do you guys
here we
remember at
go.
St. John's? At
Here we
St. John's, whatever the
Yeah, I
what
was
was
the
the
one fighting for Jameis
cafeteria
Winston.
called? I was telling Ryan this was the season where he threw 30 picks and 30 touchdowns, but before it ended, right? So he was
A
in the
fantasy
midst of it.
quarterback. He was a legend. So
And I told Ryan and Markel, I'm like, dude, this guy won't even be in the league in 3 years.
yeah, I know you hated him for no reason. He was a great fantasy
He
quarterback.
sucked.
Everything's From full
He
circle,
sucked.
huh?
He
Now he's
sucked
on
in
the team.
Tampa.
Why are you arguing?
Now
He
he's your
sucked, but
starting
he's playing great.
quarterback, my guy.
I looked forward to playing Tampa, but that's different because they had terrible coaching, and I still think Mike Evans is overrated. And this was before the Godwin emergence. Tampa was just not a good situation. But pairing him with Sean Payton, he sat a year behind Drew Brees. I think that's the best kind of like
No, I agree. It was a good situation.
approach to a
It's a good
situation that any
situation to
quarterback
learn
can
in,
get.
but it doesn't mean that he absorbed everything.
Yeah, we can't
But
listen.
You're acting like he didn't have the talent. The talent's already there. It was just him putting
yeah,
it
we
together
listen-
mentally. reading
Listen,
defenses.
here's what he was
I'll say.
out of the league
Like-
in 3 years. Come on,
and
man.
not
If
only
Sean
that-
Payton starts him all 17 games, he's throwing more than 30 touchdowns.
And yeah, okay, great.
That's
but how
what he
many
did in
picks is
Tampa,
he gonna
too.
throw Along the
Like, he
time,
doesn't-
along the way.
Yeah, but he's not going to throw 30 picks.
How many picks is he going to throw though? That's what we want to know. That's what is the
15,
unknown.
20, 15
All
to
right,
20.
that's
Yeah, so
still
that's where this range lies. If you throw close to 20 picks, you have to be in the bottom like.
Yeah, but
You're
if you're throwing
in the
40
goat range,
touchdowns
bro.
and 20 picks, I'll take
Well,
it.
now it's 40. Now it's 40.
If he starts all 17 games,
No, they're gonna run. The Saints are gonna run the ball a little bit with Taysom Hill and
Yeah,
Alvin Kamara,
it's
of
if
course.
Kamara and Taysom
Probably,
Hill are
most
going to be
likely,
vital
yes.
parts of your offense.
oh no, I just think that's disrespectful.
But listen, let's not
How
like listen. Obviously, Jameis wasn't on the Bucks team that won the Super Bowl, but let's not like his offensive talent there is pretty close with the Saints. Not a team. The offensive talent was good.
So you guys are putting the Saints in this range. I'm gonna
no,
start with
not
my
the Saints. Not the Saints. Jameis Winston.
they're
and
just
Taysom
the
Hill.
quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Jameis
all right.
Winston and Taysom Hill are in this range, not the
All right.
Saints as a whole.
Not for me. For me,
Just
in this
them.
spot, whatever 23, I think we're at, right?
You had Wilson,
Put
no?
Big Ben next for me at 22.
Or 22. No, I'm
21,
putting Kirk
whatever
Cousins
we're at.
first. I'm
Wow.
putting Kirk Cousins here.
Oh,
Wow,
wow.
okay.
Relax.
No,
Yeah.
no, I am.
The guy
putting
does
Kirk
bad.
Cousins here.
The guy does bad in primetime games, and you're dragging him like this.
Yeah.
I have Kirk Cousins way higher than this. Way
Yeah,
higher.
No,
I
I have
have
Kirk
like the
Cousins here,
teams.
and let me explain
I have
why.
like the middle teams,
For
bro.
me, it's
So why?
close between Kirk Cousins and Big Ben.
That's
And the
crazy.
only reason why I have Big Ben one spot above Kirk Cousins is because at least Big Ben could get the ball out in under 3 seconds.
It
That's
doesn't
the
mean
one
it's gonna be
benefit I
good
get with that.
pass.
That's the one benefit I get with that.
Everything they do is a check down. Pittsburgh. This
I understand, but so is
Man.
Tom Brady's career. But yet you guys have him as a top 5 quarterback. Anyways, moving
there was
on.
nothing excessive like
Moving
Big Ben
on.
this year were
The
extreme.
guy won championships doing checkdowns. Like, what do you want me to say?
I'm not calling him the GOAT. I'm just saying he's not a top 5 quarterback in the league right now. Anyways,
Whatever, man.
my next
I
2
didn't
picks
hear
are
you
Kirk
spoke
Cousins and
because
Big Ben.
We ranked your Saints guys a little bit low, and
Kirk Cousins and
Okay.
Ben
I like
Roethlisberger are my next 2.
That's 22 and 21 for you.
I believe. I don't know.
all
I
right,
could
so I
lost
would have
count.
Pittsburgh at 22, and my 21 would be Zach Wilson.
That's hysterical because I have Justin Fields and Dalton at 22 and Zach Wilson at 21 as well.
Okay.
Actually, I think I had well, pretty good, pretty close. Yeah, we're all like in the same range. We're just kind of like flip flopping.
Yeah, on a few.
So my next guy, I don't know if you guys agree or not, is Matt Ryan.
What?
Yep.
What? You?
How do you
Matt
have
Ryan.
that? Bro, what? No,
I've watched him my whole life.
I have Trevor
Yeah.
Lawrence at 20.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing with the Jaguars. I'm not. I
Jaguars
like
next to
Zach
me,
Wilson
bro.
more than Trevor
19.
Lawrence, but Gardner
Yeah.
Minshew's still on that roster. So
All
as a
right,
QB room collectively, if Trevor Lawrence gets hurt or something,
Yeah,
that
but
Gardner's
that's,
taking
that's
him.
not
Are
a
you
quarterback
kidding me, bro?
controversy.
No.
Gardner's
You know
taking
who's
him.
getting that ball? You know who's getting the ball? Jesus Christ, the Lord, his Savior himself, Timothy Tebow, bro. All right, like watch your mouth.
Laviska Shenault's going to play Wildcat quarterback.
No, I'm taking the Jaguars QB room over Atlantis.
I'm not.
Yeah, so I have. What did I just say? That just blew my
You
mind.
had Zach Wilson at the 21. Who's your 20?
No, yeah. So I have Ryan Fitzpatrick and then Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, I literally have him flip flopped. I have Trevor Lawrence and then Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, that blew my mind, Peter. I'm sorry. That's
I have
crazy.
Matt Ryan at 20.
Yeah, that's.
Next, I'll probably put Jaguars. It's close, but I'm definitely taking the Jaguars.
Okay.
So that would be what, my 19?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Matt Ryan, 20, bro. What is that?
Where do you have Ryan
18.
Fitzpatrick, bro? Top like
Right
10?
here. This is Fitzpatrick's spot. This is Fitzpatrick's spot.
Taylor Heineke weighs it up for me.
Yeah, right.
This is a Fitzpatrick spot.
Okay.
Taylor Heineke really showed out in that divisional game. So I don't know, bro.
I feel more confident in the Washington football team this year than I do the Atlanta Falcons. I'll tell you that much.
Oh,
As a team,
man.
I agree, but we're basing on the quarterbacks.
Well, it's the quarterbacks, yes, but it's also their situation. And I'm assuming Julio's not going to be there to save Matt Ryan like he has his whole career.
They're
God.
still going to have decent. They're still going to have Pitts
all
and
right.
Ridley.
So at my 18th spot, because Peter's going a little crazy here,
I'm not going crazy. I'm just following the eye test.
I'm gonna have Joe Burrow.
I have him coming up.
You have Matt Ryan above Joe Burrow?
Yeah, I do. Very clearly.
Yeah, you have to, dude. Dude, Joe Burrow played it
What?
like
Okay, hold on. Before
5
everybody, because
versus
everybody in the audience now is confused. What are we ranking this on? Because I can't think of a situation where that happens unless you are rating his whole career.
No, I want Matt
Have you
Ryan.
guys placed Big Ben yet?
He's
Yeah, of course.
right now.
dude.
No, I haven't. He's right now for me. He's 18 for me.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I have Joe Burrow here.
We are far off, boys.
This is why I love
We
this.
are very far off.
Look, I'm not saying Joe Burrow is great, but just based on like, don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that.
Yeah, he was a tad bit overrated last year, for being honest.
Yeah, look,
Rated.
like he's not in the
I
greatest
get it. He didn't play the
situations
whole
either.
season, but he played most of it.
He didn't play
He got the
most of
job
it.
done.
He played like
He got
9
the he
games.
got the job done.
What job?
What job? The offense went from the worst in the league. He was competing with Baltimore and Baltimore's top defense.
They
He was
lost by
putting
like 40
points
to
up against.
Baltimore.
No, but he came back. He was moving the chains. It was his team. Who was
The
he
game was
throwing
over.
to?
They just gave it to
He
him.
didn't
Look,
have a
bro,
running game.
I'm not
He didn't
taking
have an
anything away
offensive
from the guy.
line.
Not
He didn't
taking
have a
anything-
running game. Zach Taylor was a terrible play caller.
Yes, they
AJ
should've
Green
fired him.
non-existent. All he had was if you want to count T. Higgins, sure, and then Tyler Boyd.
I have Burrow
was
ranked
moving the
higher
ball.
than where Markello has him. I'm just saying, like you were acting like he should be in the top 10 based on your reaction.
No, but I think he should
all
be.
right, so the only reason I have Joe Burrow ranked down here is because he got injured. It's a bad injury for one. He's even
Granted.
saying he's 85%. So like, do we even know if he's going to be 100% by season start?
Yeah,
So-
it's only beginning of June.
He
Yeah,
should
so
be.
that's what I'm saying. I get it, bro. But like, ACL injuries either way are bad. Like, it's going to limit his mobility for the future and on. So I'm just, being a little conservative with my
Well,
ranking.
listen, it's only for this year's ranking, so
Yeah, it's just for this year, bro. Look, the guy can be 18 for me this year, and the next year could have him in like 7. If the guy shows out, I'm not going to snub him and disrespect him. This is where I have him.
okay.
He-
So-
You guys are gonna get mad at me where I have Derek Carr, but it's because I got a little soft spot for Derek Carr.
Derek
So-
Carr's coming up for me. I'll tell you that.
Coming
much.
up.
Oh,
me
you're
too.
crazy. That's
talking about-
disrespectful.
like coming up means like a couple, not like right now. Because 18 for me, like I said, it's Big Ben. We already kind of went over him. This is probably a little bit too high for him, but I'm still kind of banking on Pittsburgh being better than last year. I'm gonna say it offensively better than last year. I don't think it's gonna be quite as bad as last year. But Ben's certainly dying down, so this might be a little bit too generous. He might be like 20 or 21, but I just kind of gave him some respect and put him at 18.
Fair enough.
So what's next? 17. We're all at 17 now.
Yeah,
Okay. For me, this is where I'm putting Carson Wentz.
same thing. Let's go. We got,
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Peter
I-
finally got a ranking. I think me and Markel have kind of like similar lists. We just kind of flip flop. Peter, I think
Yeah,
this is
you
the
guys
first
are-
me and you got together.
Yeah,
This is
17.
block.
This is a perfect spot for Wentz. It's essentially like the definition of an average quarterback, right?
Yep.
So his thing is, I don't even think it's physically. His problem, since even his MVP year, his problem was always mentally, right? So if you get him down going into halftime, or if you're consistently pressuring him, I think, or if he throws a pick, he's not the type of quarterback to come back and like Eli Manning was like this, not for nothing. Like Eli Manning would throw a pick, but then not care and come back, the next drive and still try to push the ball. It wouldn't affect him. If Carson Wentz throws a pick, I feel like he's done for the game mentally. He's just mentally defeated.
I could agree with that. Yeah, no,
That makes
it's
Darnold.
true. Carson Wentz.
So,
is
but
someone
this
that
is why
can
I like the
his own head.
situation in Indianapolis. They're going to run the rock like no other. It'll open up the play action passes. What excelled him his MVP year in Philadelphia was the play action. So I think it's a great situation. I think he'll play better than the 17th spot, but based off of production and everything that's happened up to this point, I think you can't put him higher than 17.
Yeah,
So that's why I have it. I think
I
it's
was a little
perfectly
low
fair.
on him, but you could sway me into
Here's the
thinking that.
thing.
I mean, look, I have Kirk Cousins here, but like you
Okay.
said, this is like the definition of your average quarterback. Like, you don't do anything great, you don't do anything like bad. You're just not
Oh, you
great.
definitely do stuff bad, but
All right, look, you do some things bad, but it's not like overwhelming, like kills your game type of bad. Like you're
Wentz has definitely done that stuff before. But here's the thing. I also have Wentz 17 enough, obviously for the reasons Peter mentioned, but I can see why you have him lower, Markello, because based on last year, for being honest, Wentz was the bottom 3 quarterback last year. But then again, I am considering the team he's on and a much better situation, coaching and just team wise, offensive line. So we're assuming he's gonna play better. If we were banking it strictly based off last year, he would not be here for me. But you're going into a new situation, we're placing him right in the middle. But certainly he could be low. He could be lower during the season. So,
all right. So who do you guys have at 17?
but Wentz.
No, 16. I'm sorry, 16.
I have Baker Mayfield.
Wow.
So do I actually.
What?
So do I.
You guys
Yeah.
are higher on him than me.
Actually, no, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I have Derek Carr, then Baker Mayfield.
No,
so
no, yeah.
16,
See, I have
15.
Derek Carr, and I have Derek Carr at 15.
Man. Okay.
No, I definitely have Baker one spot above Carr. I think that's where the
Nah.
tier starts. I think it's a
Stop it,
different tier.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop it!
So-
Stop it!
No, it's true.
For me,
No.
ranking 8, basically 19 to 11 for me is like all interchangeable. Like in terms of people moving up and down throughout the year. Like I don't think this is a very solid group. I just think these guys are more proven than some of the guys we mentioned. So for 16 for me, I have Joe Burrow. So I'm higher on him than you guys, I guess. And I do think Joe Burrow's gonna have a phenomenal year, for fantasy reasons.
Well, Peter hasn't said Joe Burrow yet.
Yeah,
So
I have not.
how
Okay,
high are you on Joe Burrow?
probably coming up for you, no?
Top
Yes.
12, probably.
Okay. So I do think, like I said, I do actually think Burrow might finish as a top 10 fantasy quarterback. I have no doubt with that because they're going to be, behind in almost every game, and they have a great offense. It just injury concerns. I do think Joe Burrow is a bad deep ball thrower. I just think it is what it is. So I think that limits him. But I do think it'll be fun this year, and the Bengals will be not good, but they'll be like much more watchable, especially offensively. Now that he's back, the end of last year was a mess. So that's really it.
So who do you guys have for 15? Because I gave away that Baker's my 15.
I have Derek Carr.
Derek Carr, yeah.
My God.
Okay. All right, so I just have it.
Put him on another
Derek
team,
Carr and
though.
Baker.
Promise you guys, put him on another team. He's a top 10 quarterback in the league.
I don't agree with that, and you swayed me on Derek Carr over the years, so this is much higher than what I had him like last year, the year before, for sure. So he's definitely earned my respect. I just think Carr is still limited. Like he still plays, like the way he plays is limited. Like he never goes for. He did push it down the field more last year. I'm just saying, like he's not an aggressive quarterback. I think you can agree with that.
He's not, but if you put Derek Carr in a competent offense with like competent play callers, he'll do some very special things.
Yeah, I know, but like I don't know. I don't think like as bad as the Raiders are, I don't think Gruden's like the really issue, like calling the plays wise. I actually think like they kind of work together. I'm not saying he's on the best offense.
They also don't have that's whole
yeah,
thing.
it's just Darren Waller and like
just not there to execute.
But
no,
I think 15's perfectly fine.
What are we at right now? 14?
14, yeah.
All right. So at 14, this is where I'm gonna put Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill.
Whoa.
14.
Yes.
Whoa.
That's wild.
Yes. The Saints are gonna surprise people this year. I don't know if we'll be able to win enough games to win the division because of Tom Brady. I think the Bucs are gonna be even better somehow this year. Granted injuries and stuff.
I feel like you looked at our ranking as if it was like a shot at the Saints, bro. Like we're just saying
No, I'm not. I think, and this is not even me being higher on one of those quarterbacks higher than the other. I think Jameis Winston's a better quarterback than Taysom Hill.
Yeah,
but I just like the tandem of being able to use Taysom Hill where we need him, even if it's at quarterback.
Right? I've seen too much, as we know.
No, I know, but so I think Taysom Hill. I don't think he's a bad quarterback. I think he's a good quarterback.
Nice, terrible.
And only in New Orleans, Sean Payton's system. I think his ability with the play action to do bootleg stuff is really good. I think he locks on to one target. That's his biggest flaw, I think. I think he'll lock onto his first read, and if it's not there, just rely on his feet. And I'd like for him to check down more. But this is more so Jameis Winston that I think sitting for the past year or two has been good for him. And I think all things considered, with the Saints fully healthy on offense, and Taysom Hill, if Taysom Hill doesn't start at all, so it's Winston, all 17 games, I think he could show that he's a top 15 quarterback. Production-wise, if you just look strictly at the numbers, he's going to be top 15.
Maybe for fantasy, if he's given.
If he starts all 17, though, granted, because I don't know what the Saints and Sean Payton are going to do.
Ryan Tannehill.
He's coming up for me.
Coming up. Yep.
Yeah, he's coming up for me as well. All right. Okay. Glad we're all on the same page.
14, I have Kirk Cousins. So I'm like.
That's high.
I know it's high, but. And I'm not really a big Cousins fan, but to his credit, like I do think, there's a reason why he's here, not in my top 10 or whatever. Like he has the ability of top 10 quarterback. He just never. It's mental for him. Like we know this. It's just always something like doesn't go right, or it's always a big game where he doesn't really show up. But he does. To his credit, he does play at least 9 or 10 pretty good games and some elite games every single year. It's just never in the big moment, so I can't like rank him higher.
Hold on, have you guys said Matt Ryan yet?
No, he's next to me. He's 13.
Oh, Jesus. 13?
Yeah.
Matt Ryan was going to be my 14th.
Oh, okay. Man.
But, yeah, Kirk Cousins is like he is what he is. But, I mean, Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen are fun. Dalvin Cook. So, like, I think he's going to have a pretty good year again. His usual stat line, like 30 more touchdowns, whatever, 6-7 interceptions. So.
All right. So, what are we at right now?
13.
Oh, okay. So
Markelli. Yeah, I have Matt Ryan at 14.
You're Matt Ryan.
I know you guys were like.
I am at 13.
This is where I'm putting Tannehill at 13.
Yeah, this is where
I think you could even convince me to put him just a tad bit lower, but I think 13's fair.
No, it's definitely fair. I think he's better. Like
he's definitely proved what kind of quarterback he is in a good system.
Because that's what it is. He's just very sick. Like if he wasn't in that system, I don't think he would.
Since he's gotten there, Derrick Henry has been probably definitely a top 3 running back in the NFL. And without that kind of support, like, and taking the load off of him, I don't know how more like effective he would be. And again, the offensive line, it's been the perfect situation for him, which is why he's played the way he has. But I'm not going to take that away from him, which is why I'm putting him at 13. I'm not going to be like, oh, if he was in a worse situation, he would be worse, because you could say that about everybody. So how he's been since Tennessee, I think he's deserving of the 13th quarterback in the league.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it's more than fair. I have Matt Ryan here, so Tannehill's coming up for me soon. But and Matt Ryan, this is strictly because Matt Ryan for me used to be my top 10 almost every single year. But obviously the age is getting up there. Atlanta's not really a great team anymore, and Julio's definitely more than likely getting traded before training camp, so that's a big loss. But I still think, like we said, we're not basing this off teams. I do think if everything was even, and I still think Matt Ryan's gonna have a pretty good year. It's gonna be Atlanta's probably gonna be not a very good team, or a little bit below average. So I still get excited to watch Calvin Ridley and Kyle Pitts. So it just would have been nice to see Julio with those 3. But it is what it is. Matt Ryan's getting older, and Atlanta's not really a great team. So 13, I think, is fair.
That's high. That's high.
I mean, to be honest, so I had Baker at 12. I think I tired.
That's yeah.
Yeah. So we talked. Where do you have him?
I had him down before you guys.
Down. Peter,
I think me and Markel had him in a similar spot. It was like
I had him at,
17
like,
or 16, something like
Okay.
that. Yeah,
15
16.
or something like that.
Oh, yeah. And if a year ago, if you would have asked me Baker Mayfield's ranking, I'd probably have him in the 20s before we went entering last year. But I certainly think he definitely earned this jump, even if you had him at whatever, 17, 16. I'm just kind of excited for the Browns. I think he's we talk about Tannehill being in a perfect situation. Baker's actually in a better one. And I do feel like he did obviously take a big step from year 2 to 3 after he regressed in year 2. I just feel like he's going to be consistent under Stefanski. So I think this is more than a fair ranking. The touchdowns might not be there because Chubb and Hunt might take him, but I think you'll see close to 30 touchdowns. So
Yep. Okay, I agree. I
Peter, you have
agree
a
with your
12?
take. I'm still going to keep him whatever I had him at like 15, but
Yeah,
I'm not going to get mad that you have him at 12. It's only 3 tier, whatever, 3
Yeah.
spots difference, and
like I said,
they're interchangeable, 12 to 15.
Honestly, my whole thing from 19 to 11 is going to be based on the year how it goes. These quarterbacks aren't locked in for me. They're just kind of entering the year. So 11 is where I have Tannehill. So this might be a little bit too high. It just, and like I said, I'm not expecting Tennessee to be good this year. I think we put them in our power rankings pretty lower than most people. It just entering the year, Tannehill over the last 2 seasons has been very, very good in my opinion. And so I'm expecting him to go down during the year, but I just think entering the year, he's kind of earned this spot. Like we talked about, you guys had him at 12 or 13 whenever you had him. So we're kind of in the same range. And I am curious to see how he looks at Arthur Smith. So if you did want to put Baker for me at 11, that's fine. It's just, literally the same rankings, just 1 spot difference. But yeah, I just think Tannehill's earned it. And I think he's been pretty good, especially entering December. I don't know why. I feel like he's been pretty good the last 2 seasons in December.
Okay. So what are we at now? 11 to 12.
11.
Tannehill was my 11. So who's your guys' 11?
Cody, do you want to go?
Damn, I don't know if you guys are gonna agree with this or not. Don't kill me for this, but I have Kyler Murray down here.
But I have him at 10.
Okay.
I don't know, man. I'm just not a fan. I don't think he's gonna be anything too special. How many years have we seen him now? 2 years. He hasn't done anything crazy to impress me.
I mean, you have him at 11. It's pretty high.
Yeah, look, he's a good quarterback, but he's not I don't know. Top 10 is my threshold of great quarterbacks.
He's right there.
I've seen elite things from him though.
He's not there though. He's not there though.
Right there.
That's the thing, dude. He's not there. He's knocking on the door, but he can't get there. I need to see. I don't know.
I don't know.
I feel like he flashes for a few games and then dies off. I think I need to see a little bit of consistency of.
But that's Arizona's fault. I feel like he's been consistent down there for what he's been given.
Arizona's fault. You think it's just the play calling?
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury sucks in my opinion, and their offensive line.
Even with that, and again, like Ryan, you just said, the offensive line stinks. It's been like that the past 2 years. I've seen some elite things from Kyler Murray, whether it's his arm, his deep ball, obviously his ability with his feet on the ground. So I've seen too many elite traits not to have him in my top 10.
Where do you have him?
Look, I have him
Like
just
10?
outside. I just want to see a little bit
I
more.
have him a little bit higher. I'm naming a few guys before I name
Okay.
Kyler, so I'm obviously higher on Kyler than
Yeah,
you
so
guys
that's
are.
what I'll
I'd like to
mention.
see
Right?
more from
For
him.
me, 11 because you guys already named him, so let me get him out of the way. I have this is where I have Burrow at 11.
Jeez.
I think if
think
we
it's
would have
really high.
talked about Tony Romo in his prime, there's no way you guys would have had him outside the top 12. And I think that this is where Joe Burrow is when he's 100% healthy and going into his prime.
Romo he would have been in my top 5 or top 6. I don't think Burrow.
Yeah.
But that's how I look at Burrow. Not yet because obviously it's the second
Nah.
year and he didn't even play a full year
Come
yet.
on,
But that's what I
man.
think he's going to be.
I don't know.
Why,
Romo,
he's not a Super Bowl
Romo was
champion.
he was special in my opinion. So
I loved Romo. He wasn't a Super Bowl champion, but I think he was a top 10 quarterback. So I'm
So
putting
do
Joe
I.
Burrow
Yeah.
at 11
those Dallas teams
going
suck.
into his second year, assuming he's 100%
I think you're
healthy.
very high on Joe Burrow, but I can't hate it. So
It's definitely higher than the rest, but
Well, here's what I'll say. Like I said, from all the way from 19 to 11, this is going to change throughout the year for me. This is almost week to week for these guys for me. Like Markello was saying, 10, his top 10 is like the threshold for like elite quarterbacks. I kind of agree with that statement because I feel like these next 10 are kind of like almost
they're above
established.
everyone else.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, they're gonna not even most established because I have a guy that was a first year last year.
Yeah, me too.
So,
Me too. But like I feel
I mean,
very
like,
good about him.
It's just the guys who are
yeah.
who are in the pocket getting down and like you can tell like these are some bad dudes. Like they are doing their thing. You know what I mean?
Well, this is why like the middle class of quarterbacks every year. This is why you see 3 to 4, maybe 5 teams switching quarterbacks every year. Because like this range from like 19 to 11, right? The 20, 24 range, kind of like rookies, and the rest is very like unknown or like quarterbacks who have struggled. So it's kind of like the same thing every year. But there's entering 10. I have Kyler Murray. So this is like my top 10 quarterbacks. I actually thought this was a little bit low for him based off last year. Like I agree with Peter. Ever going back to his rookie year, like Kyler Murray is one of the best deep ball throwers in the National Football League. Now, like, is he perfect? No, but I think he did take I was impressed with him his rookie year, but I do think he definitely took a big step up like last year in year 2. And I don't know, he's just exciting to watch. Like he's obviously a super freak athlete as well. Like he's just so tiny and fast. So I wouldn't be surprised if Kyler Murray is like the 7th or 6th best quarterback for me by the end of this upcoming year. Now, I don't think Arizona, we keep mentioning, like I'll say it again, I don't think Arizona is going to be very, very good this year. I think they'll be like hovering over like 500, maybe a little bit below. But that won't take away Kyler Murray for fantasy reasons or just watch. If you want to watch just a fun quarterback play, I would suggest watching Kyler Murray.
So again, you guys are gonna skim me alive for this, but you guys know I haven't said Matt Ryan yet, right?
Okay, so
that's crazy.
This is my 10.
That's
He's 10?
ridiculous.
He's 10, yeah.
Listen, for most years, I agree with you. I had Matt Ryan in my top 10. Just this year,
No, look, you know, I don't know.
So
I don't think he's going to take that big of a regression. I think the only bad thing we're looking at right now is the Julio trade that's like impending. But then at the end of the day, they just got Kyle Pitts and they still have Calvin Ridley. So I don't think he's going to take that much of a step back. Like he's still going to be putting up his points. Like their defense is really going to be the reason why they're going to be losing games at the end of the day.
It's very like convincible if you wanted even to use the Arthur Smith argument. How Tannehill took his step up. Like Matt Ryan is a better quarterback. He has been than Tannehill's entire career. Like Arthur Smith, if he is as good as he was in Tennessee, Matt Ryan probably will end up as like the 10th best quarterback, 9th best quarterback, if we're being honest.
I have him at 10. Like, and look, if you wanted to convince me to put him at 11 and switch Kyler Murray into 10, I guess. But I just have Matt Ryan there.
All right, I thought I was pretty like high on him, but it was where Peter ranked Matt Ryan. But yeah, I can agree with that.
Spot.
I don't hate that at all, to be honest.
So I'm surprised you guys haven't said. Not that obviously we're going to agree that he's a top 10 quarterback because it's my 10th spot, but obviously you guys, I can't put any of these other quarterbacks in the top 10 ahead of him. This is Matthew Stafford for me.
I have him at 9.
Okay, so it's close. I understand he's been in the league for a while, so you're taking in his career aspect. But when was the last time he played a full slate of games? And I know he plays through injuries all the time, and he's talented when he plays, and he's great. But I'm never going to go into a season banking that Matthew Stafford's going to play all 16, 17 games.
Well, you also got to realize he's been playing in Detroit.
I get it, but I don't think it's going to be any different this year either. I think when he gets hit, something always happens. I think he plays through it, but I don't know. I don't have that kind of confidence in him. Like, if you ask me if I'm starting my team in 2021, who do I want as my quarterback? Like, the rest of the 9 guys I'd take obviously ahead of him, which is why I have him at 10. It's no disrespect. I have him as the 10th best quarterback entering the season. I think that's a lot of respect, but I have him at 10.
Yeah, that's more than fair.
I have him at 9, so I can't really complain. So
I have him at 8, so it was a little bit higher.
So who do you guys have at 9?
Who do you have at 9, Dak?
I have Herbert, and I
Alright.
love Justin Herbert. So I really wanted to put him like based off last year. He's definitely top 5 quarterback. It was just we have to like slow down just a little bit. I do think he's gonna be phenomenal again this year. But like last year was a really really special rookie year. Like that's something that doesn't happen very often, especially rookie quarterbacks. I am excited for him and the Chargers. I just wanted to like almost like hold the line a little bit on Herbert until like we see it in year 2. But yeah, it was just because it was almost like shocking to me that I had him this high. Like how I was thinking of quarterbacks. Like I actually do think Herbert will be an elite quarterback. And just like after 1 year, I didn't want to crown him right away. Even though you guys know I had him in fantasy last year. So for me, it's already like I already have him in a different tier. So
Nah, I have Matt Stafford here at 9, but definitely Herbert is my next guy up at 8.
so I had Stafford, just flip flop, Stafford at 8. And for the same reasons that Peter mentioned, and also the fact is like he hasn't been on a good team. So like it is probably high based on how like we view him, because like a lot of these quarterbacks are kind of not a lot, but like maybe Matt Ryan's more accomplished for sure. But I think we're going to see like a really good Matthew Stafford this year. And it's not that we haven't seen it before, but now it'll be kind of more relevant. So people will be paying attention and watching. And I think some of the hits that he takes are from the Lions being down in every single game, him just gunslinging it. So hopefully the Rams is a better situation and he can almost like protect himself where the Rams are leading games and he can, hand the ball off and just kind of finish off games more often than he did in Detroit. So I'm at 8.
Okay, you guys are going to disagree with me here. At number 9, I have Lamar Jackson.
Okay. I'm coming up like soon.
Okay, so
I
notice
have
I
him
haven't said
6.
Justin Herbert yet. Herbert's coming up for me, but my thing with Lamar Jackson is, and it's not necessarily his fault because I don't think he's a running back at quarterback. I think that's a lot of disrespect people give him. I think he's a good quarterback. Obviously, I have him at top 10. My thing, whether he has receivers or not, that doesn't change the fact is I don't like the way, one, his velocity when it comes to whether it's deep balls or even like 20 yards out. I don't like the velocity in his throws, and I don't like the football when it leaves his hands. I don't think it's never a clean spiral. I think sometimes it's hard to catch, and minus the velocity, I think it's hard for it to get there in time and accurately. So he obviously brings what he brings in terms of leadership and as a runner, but I think the throwing holds him back, and that's why I have the other guys ahead of him, and I have
That's
them at
fair.
9.
That's fair. At 9,
At 9.
jeez,
I think it's a little bit too low, but like
that's not fair. Yeah, it's definitely not fair. But wow,
No, because if throwing is the most
who do you have
important
at
thing
8?
about a quarterback, and if you're down in
We have at
football
8.
games in the second half, should I start off with 8?
I mean, we already said our 8s.
we already said our 8s, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. I have Tom Brady here.
You're crazy.
I don't think I'm crazy.
You're crazy. I'm not even
Why?
gonna let you explain that because you're crazy.
Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, and he's also the 8th best quarterback going into the 2021 season. And I think that's being more than fair. He's going to play all the games. He'll be there for you. The best leader in the league, best leader out of everybody on. He's the greatest leader, right? One of the smartest. He's a top 10 quarterback. I'm giving him respect.
Are you not taking situation into account?
Yeah, but like, how many guys would you take over him if you wanted a game-winning drive in the playoffs?
Zero. Except for like Pat Mahomes, probably, or Aaron Rodgers.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair, but I'm not going to solely crown him just because he's in the best situation. Him as a quarterback, he's just not a better quarterback right now than the guys ahead of him, I don't think. If you want to put here, how about this? I'll give you more. I'll have Herbert at 8 and Brady at 7. That's the best I could give you. Herbert at 8 and Brady at 7.
Okay, I think that's fair because like Herbert only did play 1 year, and I'm a big Herbert guy.
Exactly. So I'll do that.
Even if you put Dak over Brady.
Let me correct myself. I'm putting Dak over Brady right now. Yes.
I guess. I mean, look, Dak is my number 7.
Same thing.
Okay, I have Dak at 6. We're not far off.
Yeah,
I guess.
Dak's 7, but Dak's going to finish in the top 5 for fantasy reasons.
Yeah, I have Dak at 7, and then I have Lamar Jackson at 6.
Same thing. Same 2 rankings.
Okay, I have Dak at 6, Brady 7, and Herbert 8. So now we're in the top 5.
Yeah, I guess. Shit.
All right, you guys started off.
Okay, I'll start. I had Brady at 5. And I'm still like, I could have put him 4. I just like Josh Allen had such a good year last year. I think Josh Allen actually was the second best quarterback in the league last year. So I put Brady at 5 just because these next 3 quarterbacks above him just had such a good year last year, and they're kind of not in similar situations as the Tampa Bay's probably one or the second best team in the league. But at the same time, like I would rather these three other quarterbacks just going forward, I think, than Brady.
So you can definitely convince me to put him at 5 for Brady. I told you, I had him between 3 and 4.
Mhm.
But for sure, now that I'm kind of remembering Josh Allen's season last year, I'm not gonna lie to you, I may have overlooked that while doing these rankings.
But at the same time, like I don't know if he's gonna be able to repeat that in my head.
That's what
why
it
I
is.
was
So I
teetering.
had so I had Josh Allen at 5, and then I had like a switch between Russell Wilson and Tom Brady between 3 and 4.
Okay, so I'm gonna stick with Brady at 5. I still
Yeah,
think
no, you could
he's
correct
clutch.
that.
I still think he's gonna have a phenomenal year, and for a quarterback in his 40s to be ranked even, if
That's
you
what
want
I'm
to
saying,
argue fifth or fourth, is crazy. And there's probably no one I'd rather take in a game-winning drive than Brady. Even Mahomes, I would still take Brady to win the game for me.
Yeah. And
I'd
he's
take
just based on
Mahomes, but
the
that's fine.
situation he's in is I'd
I'd
probably
take Drew
say the
Brees.
best situation out
I'd
of
take
every.
100% healthy Drew Brees over Tom Brady.
Yeah, whatever.
Good luck.
Give me a healthy Drew Brees. That's it.
Yeah, whatever. We
That's
see
a wrap.
what he does in game winning drives.
Yeah, when he's healthy, he wins.
Whatever. Not
Anyways,
hearing it.
anyways.
Let's go
Number 5 for me is Kyler Murray. This is where I'm putting
Yeah, that's a
Kyler.
little bit high. And I love Kyler Murray.
Again, I understand. So, like, you can make the argument. Obviously, Brady's in a better situation, but I'm not going to give credit to the rest of the offense and not give credit to the quarterback. I'm going more of an individualistic standpoint, and I think he has more elite qualities than than the Lamar Jacksons. So take what Lamar Jackson can do on the ground. I think Kyler could do just the same. But I think Kyler is an elite thrower and Lamar isn't. So that's why I have that kind of gap from
No, I can see
5
why
to
you
9.
I can see why you'd want Kyler over Lamar, but let's not like Lamar's situation is definitely like it's different. Like he doesn't have DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
We're gonna compare it. Yeah.
That's fine, but he has that offensive line. It's give and take. You could find pros and cons everywhere.
How much
No, I
was
know.
that?
Lamar has a better running back room behind him. You can
Yeah,
say
that's
that
fair, but
too.
I'm just saying in terms of weapons, I'd rather, even though Arizona doesn't have great weapons, I'd probably even take them over what the Ravens had last year.
I don't know. For me, I think there's a little bit of a difference between Kyler and Lamar. I just think that the throwing attributes are enough to differentiate the gap from 5 to 9. That's my thing.
All right, listen, I like that we're kind of different. Me and Markel kind of had almost the same list, which is crazy because we actually we never talked about it. We just kind of did it. I literally did it.
I've noticed me and you were kind of like always agreeing on takes, and then Peter's just like.
And I thought I was high on some picks.
Talking about one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time being number 8 in the league this year.
Just because he's the greatest quarterback of all time does not mean that he's better than the other quarterbacks in the top 5.
That's what makes this. That's
what
makes
he's not
arguing. So
he's not.
Talking about we take a healthy Drew Brees over a healthy Tom Brady.
I wouldn't even blink. I would not blink. I'd go to sleep great. I'd get a great night's sleep. I'd sleep like a baby knowing Drew Brees 100% is my quarterback.
Drew Brees doesn't play football anymore. Number 4, I have Josh Allen, and
that's where I have him.
This is strictly based off last year. It was phenomenal. Like I said, he's probably the second best quarterback in football last year. I just don't know if he's going to be able to repeat that, and I still think
it's going to be hard.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard considering the offense is exactly the same.
Like those standards were really high last year, and like there was some incredible moments and throws. I still think he's gonna be very good. I just don't think he can be as good as last year, and that's not like a disrespect or a slight. It just I don't think Buffalo got actually much better. It just kind of seemed to retain their own, which is fine. I just kind of for these next 3 guys, they're in a different tier for me because they've shown it consistently. So I think Allen, if he plays like that again, he could definitely be moved up. But for me, then this is a fair range, and I could definitely see where he gets moved down to 7 or 8 during the year, if we're being honest. But for right now, entering the year, I just have him as 4.
Completely agree. Nail on the head. You hit it. Markel, who do you have it for?
Well, I told you guys I had a switch between Brady and Wilson at 4.
Okay. At 3, this is where I am putting Russell Wilson.
So yeah, this is also my Brady Wilson.
I just think there's no flaws in his game. I think that for the latter half of his career, he's been playing with a horrible offensive line, and you kind of forget that because of how good he is. And you also can't ignore the fact that Pete Carroll, again, not a good play caller. You've seen Russell Wilson complain about it. Even DK Metcalf complained about it. It's first down run, second round run, third down throw. And it's predictable. It's plain, bland. The whole NFL knows it's happening. The corners know what's happening. The defensive line knows what's happening. The whole defense. So given all that, granted, he still makes the throw on 3rd and 4th down, right? He still moves the chains every possession, still puts points on the board, whether because that elite defense that Jamal Adams is supposed to lead didn't end up being elite, so he still was outscoring teams. There's just no flaw in this guy's game. He elevates everybody around him, tremendous leader. And then if he was in a better situation, he could be even number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you basically said where I was going to say. I'll add this.
The top 3 guys, there's no flaws.
He's one of my favorite quarterbacks of all time, Russell Wilson, and that's never going to change. When we were talking about like teams in the top 10, most of these guys are in very good situations, probably outside of Kyler Murray. But Russell Wilson is consistently here, and not just at 10. He's consistently in the top 3 or 4, and he's by far the worst team. Like it's not even close to some of these teams, and it's really like magnificent, like what he does. It's literally crazy every single week. So I've honestly never seen something like him as consistent as he is on a bad team or like a mediocre team. I don't know if you could say there's a quarterback who elevates the talent that he has more than Russell Wilson in the league. So
I agree with that statement.
Moving on to number 2, I have Rodgers, and obviously he won MVP last year. So if you wanted to put him 1, I'm not going to hate it. I think these next 2 quarterbacks are kind of very similar to each other. There's Rodgers in like the later part of his career. Like Rodgers is deadly accurate. I mean, he threw it was like not 30, but it was like 20 something touchdowns to Devontae Adams last year. Another MVP season, his 3rd or 4th. I think his 3rd. So just really, really good. But I just can't take him over Mahomes right now.
I agree.
But if you wanted to do it on a year-to-year basis, you could convince me Rodgers won.
Look, granted.
But I like that the Chiefs have better offensively than what the Packers do.
Yeah. So what I did was I just looked into situationally wise, like what they were going to go into, and I was like,
and we don't even know what Rodgers is going into. We have no
but
idea.
Yeah, that's what it was. So like I took into account, to be fair about it, I was like, all right, let's say Aaron Rodgers goes into Green Bay, he'll be going, to war with Devontae Adams, not much else.
Lazard,
David Bakhtiari, and Corey Linsley. So it's.
But they lost Linsley too.
Linsley's
they did. Right, you're right. They did.
Yeah.
Then you look at Patrick Mahomes, who's going to be going to war with Tyreek Hill, Mecole Hardman, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and that newly built offensive line. So it's an easy one. It's an easy one.
But even situation aside, I just think Patrick Mahomes is by far and away the greatest quarterback in this league right now.
I don't agree with that.
He's always doing something like new, bro. I don't know.
I think he's number 1. I just don't think by far.
I think he's Aaron Rodgers plus. I think what you got from Aaron Rodgers in his prime, however many years ago, you could still say now he just won MVP last season, but that's what Mahomes is at his young of an age.
Yeah, no, but like Rodgers was also like on a terrible team when he's like not growing up, but like developing in the league. Like Mike McCarthy, as we know now, in hindsight, we didn't know it was that.
Yeah, I know, but if you look at that Super Bowl team, it was loaded.
Yeah, I know, but like the fact, I don't know. I just feel like Mahomes also like not taking it away from him, but he also got put in literally the perfect situation. So as good as he is, he's not this good if he's on like, I don't know, you can mention whatever team you want besides the Chiefs, or not every team, but
I don't think anybody would be that, like you said, like better than.
No, I know. I have Mahomes at 1. I'm saying I just didn't agree with your statement. Like by far the best.
But that's like saying like the Brady thing. Like his whole career was like, oh, if he wasn't in New England, he wouldn't be what he is. He's like, yeah, that's true, but you can't take that away from him because that's what happened. That's how he developed.
I don't think he's that. I don't think Mahomes is that much better than Rodgers or Russell Wilson. Like
I'm taking into account their age too and what he's doing at a younger age.
No, but we're also just doing this based on 2021, 2022.
No, I know, but I think it matters because I think like as great. Obviously, I have them as top 3 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Mahomes, Rodgers, and Wilson.
All of us.
But I'm not saying because obviously you could still have better seasons production wise, but we've seen the ceiling of Rodgers and Wilson, which is best in the league. I'm not saying it's a low ceiling, but like we've seen it, right? Mahomes has already won the Super Bowl. He's gone back to back. He lost, but I don't think we've seen the best of Mahomes yet, which I think is a crazy thing to think about.
I don't know. It feels like pretty. I don't know how much better he can get than this.
Yeah,
I think he could still get better. I think this is going to be the best team he's played. I think this is going to be better than the year they won the Super Bowl. This team.
But why? But he threw like
this upcoming year,
like 50-some touchdowns in this like.
Yeah, he threw 50 touchdowns, which is great. But even if he throws 45 touchdowns, you're going to make that huge difference between 50 and 45.
No, I just think like he's playing at the same level that he's been playing at, just really high level, consistent, really good.
He's like he reminds me of Aaron Rodgers, but just I think better because he's been doing it younger.
I don't know. I mean, I love Mahomes, and he's going to end up as a top 5 quarterback of all time. I just think like,
Well, that's what I mean. Were we saying Aaron Rodgers is going to be a top 5 quarterback of all time going into his third year
well, I don't know. I
or
wasn't
fourth
old enough
year?
to really remember that, but
But that's what I'm saying. You're granting him top 5 quarterback of all time that by the end of his career. Again,
no,
we're
but
picking tooth and nail, but
you don't think Rodgers is near there?
top 5, I think of all time. I think you could argue.
Let's say he wins
5.
another Super Bowl, right? Because he has 3 MVPs, and if he wins another Super Bowl,
Yeah, then he's definitely top 5. But I think even without that, right now, you can make an argument that he's the 5th best quarterback of all time.
and where do you have Russell Wilson? I have him in my top 10 already. So
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, top
he's
5.
not. He's probably not
maybe.
as high as Rodgers, but like
Latter half.
if Seattle can somehow win, if Russell Wilson actually leaves Seattle in a year or two, and he goes to win another Super Bowl.
He could be like, like
he's also
8,
been to 2. Obviously, he threw the pick at the end, but I'm not even blaming him for that. Let's just blame Pete Carroll. Why are you throwing it when you have Marshawn Lynch on the 1 yard line? But
yeah, that would have changed a lot of things. Then maybe Markel wouldn't have Tom Brady at 5th best quarterback in the league and have him appropriately ranked.
I had him at 5. Markel had him higher than I did. So,
Dude,
I don't know.
yeah, I'm not even
Not sure about that one. What does Tom Brady do elite besides win? Which I get is like the most important thing is to win, but what does he do that's elite?
probably the most clutch quarterback of all time.
Thank you.
Again, but that's winning. Great.
That's not
I'm
winning.
not taking anything away from winning.
That's not winning.
That's him getting the
clutch.
team in
There's a
position.
difference between winning and being clutch.
Yeah, I also think he's one of the few quarterbacks ever to like, if the game is like potentially over, most quarterbacks will just like put their head in their hands, like, oh, we're done next week. He's
always ready to sell his soul, bro. Whatever it takes.
Yeah,
like,
he's different.
So I don't know if you guys have heard this guy. He recently retired. Drew Christopher Brees. So
you know what's funny? The last time
one
I
of the
saw
most
him,
competitive athletes of all time.
So
does not put his head down.
Funny enough, the last time I saw him in a playoff game, he threw a lob in the air.
Can I ask you a question?
And it
Can I
ended
ask you a
the
question?
game.
Was he healthy?
That wasn't Tom Brady business.
Was he healthy?
It doesn't matter if he was healthy.
Was he healthy?
Not there playing. If he wasn't,
if Tom Brady plays with 8 broken ribs, a torn shoulder, and all the things that plantar fascia, he's not even a top 15 quarterback in this league.
Like why are we throwing in hypotheticals?
Yeah, for real. Like, now we're throwing hypotheticals around.
Well, that's the state of the matter because you're saying that Drew Brees' last playoff game, he was playing with 8 broken ribs
Drew Brees
and a torn throwing shoulder.
No.
And quarterbacks, it's important. You have to plant your feet, and that's where you get your force from. If you
Right.
have plantar fascia, broken ribs, and a torn throwing shoulder.
You're telling us he was selfish and played, and when Jameis could have won the game.
Possibly, you can make that argument. You can make that argument. But now you guys are giving Tom Brady, oh, he's so competitive, never puts his head down, and
he doesn't.
He's always going to play.
He doesn't, but I'm pretty sure he's never played injured, dude.
No, but
that's what Drew Brees just did. To a fault, you could make an argument, but that's what he just did. So why does he not get the same praise?
We can give credit for toughness, but that's not putting.
Why is he not getting the same praise?
Because he didn't.
When has Drew Brees ever given up in a deficit?
I'm not saying gave up, but like his confidence was shot after he threw the first pick in the championship game.
I wouldn't say shot. He came back out and still tried, but
Jared
Cook in and out of Jared Cook's hands. I'm
No,
blame Drew Brees for Jared Cook being an
idiot. The lob to Michael Thomas, that was a bad throw. It was like confidence wasn't there.
I've seen Tom Brady make bad throws, like in the AFC Championship game, and before it was offside.
He's gonna throw picks and stuff, but I'm just saying, like,
I don't understand the argument.
I mean, the guy won 7 Super Bowls, so it's like crazy.
If Super Bowls didn't matter, Tom Brady is not a better quarterback than Drew Brees. They do, which is why I say he's the greatest of all time.
It's not if they matter though. It's the fashion of how he won most of them. Literally, like he got them in position for the first 2. Literally, they landed.
We had Vinatieri. Yeah, we had Vinatieri. We had
no, but he got
NFL making up a rule in the AFC Championship. Tom Brady fumbling. They decided, hey, let's make up a new rule in the middle of a championship game.
Listen, I'm not arguing that. I don't even like the Patriots, but I'm just saying, like, the fact that
I give Tom Brady all the credit in the world for the Atlanta one, right? But that's really Atlanta choking and Matt Tillman saving him.
No, but there's no honestly. There's maybe one. I don't even know. There's probably no other quarterback in NFL history that would have came back and beat him.
Maybe Drew Brees.
No, he wouldn't have done it. So
maybe.
Well, first of all, they can't play in the Super Bowl, so it's not possible. But
I understand, but I've seen Drew Brees demolish Atlanta.
No, that's fair. I'm just saying in the situation they were in, because that was a really good year. Matt Ryan.
I'm not taking anything away from Brady for that Super Bowl. I give him all the credit.
I don't think any.
Even with I give him all the credit.
I think 0 quarterbacks enough for history.
You guys are acting like I'm not saying he's the greatest.
And I don't think he gets enough credit for the Seattle Super Bowl.
He doesn't get enough credit.
Yeah, because they were down
too much credit.
They were down 20-10 against the number 1
Here,
defense.
Tom. Here,
No,
Tom. here's all
nobody
the
nobody
credit.
acknowledges because
Nobody
obviously
acknowledges.
yeah, because everyone
Everybody-
talks about what
everybody
happened,
and their
right?
father acknowledges it.
Seattle maybe should have won, right at the end, but no one gives them credit for coming back against one of the best defenses of the decade. They were down 20-10. His number one receiver was Julian Edelman. It was crazy. They came back all the way, and they scored 10 points.
Not for nothing. They're half the NFL fan base wanted Julian Edelman in the Hall of Fame, just for his playoff attributes.
Okay, he had great. He's not a Hall of Famer, but
No, he's not. He's not. But
did he
I'm just
have,
saying
like,
half the NFL fan base wanted him.
Oh yeah, I seen that. That was crazy. Did he have big playoff moments though? You can't deny it. Julian Edelman.
Yeah, and playoff numbers in general.
Yeah,
because he was always there with Brady.
yeah, and he made some really big moments.
Just please don't say that Tom Brady doesn't get enough credit. If anything, I make the argument he gets way too much.
The Seattle one, he doesn't get enough credit, in my opinion.
For all of them, he gets too much credit. He even gets credit for the ones he loses.
The Seattle one, the Philly one was phenomenal. That was a great game.
It was. It was
Wasn't
500 yards each
500
side.
yards
It
from
was.
Brady, 400 yards from Foles. It was a fun game.
Still lost to a backup quarterback, but that's fine.
That's fine. But like,
Yep.
Like at least I mean,
I know Drew Brees wouldn't do that, but that's fine.
I know Brady's been in 10 Super Bowls.
I'm not calling him. I'm not saying he's not the greatest.
And if we're gonna be honest, those Patriots teams, like some of them weren't even that good.
That's cap.
That's not cap. Some of the
That is
Patriots
cap.
weren't that. Some of the
That is
Patriots.
cap.
Excuse
Every
me?
single time Tom Brady wins a Super
Hold
Bowl, he
on.
has like a top 10 defense, maybe top 5 defense.
See, that's false
league.
because most of them are middle of the pack. If you go
No,
look at
that's
it.
not. That's
Yes, it is.
not.
Go to like Football Outsiders, like the actual rankings, not the ones from the season.
Can we
The
pull
ones
this
that,
up? Share your
ones that
screen. Let's go pull
the
it up.
ones that adjust
Pull
for
up
actual.
Tom Brady's. Pull
All
up
right, why
Tom
don't we end the
Brady's
episode?
Super Bowl team
and then we can pull
defenses.
this up, because you guys are just rambling at this point.
I'm not saying Tom Brady's not the greatest. I'm just too much credit. That's all.
All right, I'm gonna pull it up.
He's pulling up the defenses.
No, I'm gonna pull up. There's a Tom Brady facts account on Twitter that I follow.
Yeah, so do I. It's called Barry McCockner.
Okay, so Tom Brady, the first post. Tom Brady has had 9 defenses that ranked outside the top 10 by yards per drive allowed. So that's DVOA. That's like the best rankings you can get for defensive because they actually adjust for like situations like close games and stuff like that, third downs. Tom Brady went 115-46 with 3 Super Bowls appearances.
I'm looking at the thing you're looking at right now. I just looked it up.
And from 2007 to 2020, after moving garbage time plays, Tom Brady for EPA and play rankings, Tom Brady is literally number 1 from 2007. Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers.
Is Tom Brady lucky for having 14 top 10 defenses, a season-ending fumble overturned? That was the Tuck rule. A season-ending interception overturned just a few years ago, AFC Championship game against the Chiefs. A season-ending interception turned into a 23-yard catch. A teammate make a Super Bowl winning interception on the 1-yard line. Multiple Super Bowl wins, scoring 13 points. And multiple conference championship games wins with 3 interceptions. He's the greatest of all time. Let's not act like, let's not get too crazy.
I don't know if you guys want to check it out, Tom Brady facts on Twitter. It just basically shows you every like not even just stats, like just crazy everything why he's better than any quarterback in NFL history.
I mean, when he's in the postseason as much, it's going to be like LeBron by the end of his career. No other player, even Michael Jordan, is just not going to have the numbers because they haven't been there as much as LeBron or Brady have been. It's like the Brett Favre argument. Brett Favre's like gas stats. I don't know. We could end the episode there.
Yeah, we're talking about Brady. So.
Let's do an episode next week. Some NBA. Switch it up.
All right. Yeah. Well, the Knicks are going to win in 9, of course. So we're waiting for that comeback today.
We need LeBron to clutch up, which I think he will. I think in whatever it is, game 5, game 6, whatever we're going into, he'll drop game 6. He'll drop 40.
All right, before we end, who's winning the NBA championship?
If LeBron could get past the first round, I'm going to go with the Lakers. I'm most excited for this Bucks and Brooklyn series coming up. That's going to be a phenomenal series.
Nobody cares about Brooklyn, though, for being honest.
I care about Brooklyn.
Maybe you do, but like the city doesn't care, even if they win it.
I think the city cares, considering the Knicks can't win to save their lives.
But yeah, but you see, like,
which is why they're going to be watching Brooklyn from home.
No New Yorker is going to claim Brooklyn as their best team.
That's fine. I'm going to claim them, and so are the Knicks from their couch.
I'm not claiming they want. Like the city's not like how like
you guys remember when Knicks fans were like, "Oh, we're going to get Zion, we're going to get Kyrie, we're going to get KD," and maybe
Yeah,
get
but
any of them.
Here's the thing though, the city's
funny.
not like, you know how like it's divided between Mets and Yankees and like Jets and Giants. Like the city's not
Okay.
divided between the Knicks and Nets. It's like 75, maybe 90, 80.
Can we give the Nets credit? They just got to New York.
Yeah, but that's because nobody cares.
That's because they haven't been in New York. They were New Jersey.
No, because everyone's like
The
no
Nets have
one's.
been in New York for like a hot
Yeah,
minute now.
they've been here since like 20
How
what?
minute? And how long has the Knicks been here for? Is there really a competition?
Yeah, it's a Knicks town. We know.
That's what we're trying to tell you. It's a Knicks town. Like you're not
Even
gonna
though
come
the
in-
Knicks have
no
no
matter-
reason.
Did you see the reaction after we won one playoff game in MSG?
Yeah, I understand. I
And that's
get
not
it.
gonna-
I'm
they're
not
not gonna get-
comparing
they're
the
not gonna get a
fans. I'm not
celebration like
comparing the
that.
fan
They
bases.
win the finals.
I'm not comparing the fan bases. I'm comparing the organization.
Yeah, and that's fair. Like the Nets are good, but like nobody cares.
I
Like,
care.
you know how like Toronto won the championship and you've seen like the whole city shut down and everything. The Nets are gonna get like 1/4 of that, if that.
But they'll still win the championship.
But like nobody cares. Like it's irrelevant. Like
If
maybe
It's not
they're-
irrelevant.
Yeah, if the Lakers aren't there, I have probably the Bucks winning the championship.
I don't know if the Bucks are that good to win the championship.
The Bucks
I have-
match up the
I have
best.
Utah winning the championship. So
The Bucks match up the best with the Nets.
I've seen the Bucks choke in the playoffs for the past 3
Alright.
years.
So when the Nets lose in like 7 or 6, come
That's
back
bold.
no, I don't think
Love them.
I don't think the Bucks are gonna win it either.
Dude,
That's
they
bold.
match,
I'm picking Utah, bro.
match up so well with that team. I'm telling you.
See,
you guys,
I feel like that's too safe of a bet.
you guys are sleeping on
Ryan.
the Bucks.
Well, Utah, I like Donovan Mitchell. And so
No, so do I. And they definitely have the potential. It's just we have to see, like, let's say it's like a Utah Brooklyn finals. We have to see how they match up against superstars.
yeah,
right?
probably not. Yeah, I'm just going.
But they're definitely, I think, the deepest team in the league. Them or Denver, maybe. Denver's pretty deep, even though they're struggling against
If they
Portland.
had Jamal Murray, they're still playing well though. But if they had Jamal
I
Murray,
know it would have been different.
I'd pick Denver to
Yeah.
win the entire thing.
I just don't like watching Denver play. I just don't think that, like, I don't know. It's
It's
I don't know what it is. Even with Jamal Murray there with Jokic, I just don't have
It's because
the
it's
same
very
thrill
like,
watching them.
it goes through the center. It's like it's kind of like different.
That
He's-
too, but I just think it's a lot of good players and no superstars, unless you want to
I
count
think Jamal
Jokic.
Murray
but-
like, last year was a Super Bowl in the bubble. Obviously, I don't know.
yeah,
Like,
but
yeah.
Nah, even before then, I would like put Jamal Murray in like the superstar tier of.
so
I
is
actually, I think Michael
what's the
Porter
guy's
Jr.
name Taryn Warren. He was a
Dude.
superstar in the bubble.
Yeah,
It doesn't really
TJ
count, does it?
Don't,
Yeah,
don't bring up Michael Porter Jr.'s name because the Knicks.
Michael
have the-
Porter Jr. does. He's not a superstar. He's very good though.
He's gonna be.
but
a
that's their whole
future
roster. It's
superstar,
just
bro.
good players. Even when they trade for Aaron Gordon,
The
Like,
Knicks
Mike-
traded-
Mike
players on top of good
the
players.
Knicks
Taking him.
passed up.
We
The
took Kevin
Knicks
Knox.
passed up on him for Kevin Knox, bro.
Kevin Knox.
Kevin Knox, son. I was sick that night, bro. I vividly remember that pick. I was sick.
He went like 15th overall too.
He literally went like 1 or 2 picks after we had taken Kevin Knox, and I was like, really?
Knox was 8th or 9th overall. Was he? I thought Porter fell a little bit.
I got
Because he had the
But
back.
either way,
injuries,
bro,
like,
I was just like, really? We went with Kevin Knox.
we could do another episode in a few days though to discuss whether like either a Game 7 Lakers if it gets to that, or if LeBron loses, what it means.
what does
we
it
could
mean?
do an episode.
What does it mean, Peter? Tell us right now.
Well, it means he's not better than Michael Jordan. I could.
Oh,
Hint,
relax.
Oh
Hint,
damn!
hint.
Just one
Relax.
game.
Relax.
Well, no, it's not just solely that one game. I don't think he is, even if he wins it.
No, I'm just kidding. Well, no, he's already better.
The problem I have with people that I argue with people is like, people think that like I'm a LeBron hater. I think LeBron is like the second greatest player of all time. By the end of it, he's gonna be the second best, and there's no shame in that. Why is that a bad thing?
Yeah, he's not Brady though, so it is what it is. Full circle,
just
baby.
cut it.
That's how
Cut
we're
it.
gonna end the episode.
Got it.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.